don't know if it's my internet, but can everyone hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Yay! Okay, might have been just, I don't know. But I am going to share my screen. I always get nervous with this because it always freaks out on me. So I want to do this. And exact. All right, can everyone see my screen? I can still see you. Yes, can you see me though? You can still see me and my screen? That's creepy. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the Beachbody slump. Like Jen said, you know, I'll talk about it more in detail, but everyone is going to go through this. I think depending on what level of your slump may be, it'll be kind of beneficial to know you're not alone and kind of what to do when you start going through some of these things. So about me, my team is Fearless Fitness. I signed as a coach in November in 2013 with Jen. I went diamond in 110 days. I was off, like I, you know, was completely sure this is what I wanted to do. So I jumped in, I went right for it. I had no doubts at all. I was a success starter. I'm a mom. I recently, actually, as of this last Monday, was my first Monday being a full-time coach. I no longer am working as a nurse. I am a full-time grad student. I'm still in school to be a nurse practitioner, so I'll always be a nurse. I always want to work, but Beachbody just kind of lets me decide how often I work. So that's, you know, a big thing for me. Like Jen said, after next week, or after tomorrow, I'll have one more week, and then I'll officially be a one-star diamond, which is very exciting, and we'll go into why it's so exciting for me further on. But my highest rank that I was going for was at one point I was a 2-star qualifying coach. So people are blocking my thing. Okay, sorry, I'm just moving you guys around. What is the slump? I like definitions. I don't know why, I'm kind of weird that way, but it's a sudden, severe, or prolonged fall in the price, value, or amount of something. So for me, like value just totally stuck out to me, because with the slump, I mean, it is your own value, whether it be your fitness journey, whether it be, you know, sharing your story, whether it be recruiting, like it's the value that you're bringing to your business. It's the value that you're bringing to yourself and to your team. So when you hit this slump, that value kind of drastically and suddenly decreases. This, like I said, it can be recruiting coaches. Maybe you're having a hard time doing that. Maybe you aren't hitting Success Club the way you wish that you were. Maybe you're just not getting your workouts in. You're hitting the slump where it's been a month and you haven't worked out, but you're posting and, you know, still trying to keep out the facade that you are. Maybe you aren't doing the 3 vital behaviors, which we'll go into down the line. But also, you know, a slump can also be your personal life. Maybe you're going through stuff, you know, with your significant other or friendships or work. I mean, all of this honestly ties together. You know, people say, oh, your Beachbody business is separate, but it's not. You know, if you want it to be successful, it can't be. It kind of all intertwines, and it has to be like a fluid movement. So when one of those things start having issues, it kind of like creates a snowball effect. It could also be your fitness goals. Like I said, maybe you stopped working out and you just can't find the time, and you can't find, you know, your movement to get back into the swing of things. The biggest things I can tell you is your slump, it can last a day or it can last a year. You know, only you can make that decision for yourself. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys can see that I'm moving you guys around, but I can't see my slides, so I'm moving you guys. There. So my personal slump, I know it's crazy, but it was legit from October 2014 till March of this year. So that's a pretty long slump. And I'll go into it a little bit. I was 1 week before I was going to be a 2-star diamond. Had I kept one of my diamonds, I would have still hit 1 star. But it was like the stars just kind of aligned. It wasn't going to happen. Like if anything could have went wrong, it did. I think one of the coaches lost an emerald, and then one of them, I think, lost a coach. So both of them dropped a rank, which meant we all fell out of qualification. And it never really was a big deal to me, I think, about, you know, achieving, you know, star diamond and stuff. I felt like I was so close and I had visualized it, and I had just willed it to happen. So when it didn't, like it was hard. It was a huge, blow to my ego. It just took me to a place that I didn't like, and it was upsetting. And if it had only been that was going on, it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But there was also, personal stuff going on. I started a new job. There was issues in my relationship. It was just one thing after another. It was the first month in October where I actually struggled for Success Club. So I started in November. So I didn't, but had I hit Success Club in November, I would have been an all-star. But it's just the slump, like it took over. So October, 11 months was the first time I was struggling, and I wasn't prepared for it, and it just took me off guard. There was stuff going on with another coach, and I let everything affect me. I had lost, I think, 50 pounds from when I started. I gained 30 of those back. It was just, I was not happy, and I was starting to lose faith in, I don't want to say necessarily the business. It's just, I stopped doing what I was supposed to do, and I started to wonder if this was really where I was supposed to be right now. I thought maybe, I made a mistake. Maybe I just need to take a step back. And I remember telling my team, I'm not quitting. I'm not, but I'm not going to be here the way I was. I need to take a step back for my family and figure out, what I need to do for me. And I mean, I don't regret that decision, but it definitely did set me back. And I wish that at that time I had kind of the knowledge I do now on how to gradually, remove myself and then jump right back in. Because by quitting, it made a huge, starting over effect. We'll go over that, I think, in the next couple slides. But during this time, like I said, I never quit. I never said, Jen, I'm out, I'm turning over my account. I just kind of vanished a little bit. I kept saying, I would pop up every now and then. I remember I'd be like, okay, I'm all back in. I'm doing this. I'm a business builder. But then, I was really acting like a hobby coach, if not a complete discount coach. Like I wasn't in it. My heart wasn't there. I wanted it to be, but I couldn't get everything back to where it was. So I was definitely struggling, and it took a little bit to get there. But so that's just my slump. But how to prevent yourself from going into one. Something I've definitely learned from being there is turn to personal development. I know when I started, it was kind of like, oh, personal development, that's so ridiculous. Why do I need to read a book, self-help book? Like, I'm fine. But it's so true. If you're having relationship issues, there's, personal development about that. There's personal development if you're having like struggles with time management, with leadership. If your slump is that you're, talking to your team so you're blue in the face and you're not feeling like they're getting what you're saying, turn to a leadership book and use that as kind of your outlet to refuel your own fire. Never let it go past 2 days. And this can be inviting. It could be working out, drinking Shakeology, anything. Once you let it go past those 2 days, I'm going to tell you, it becomes a lot easier not to do it. It becomes a routine where, I skipped 2 days, 3 days. It's been a month now. I haven't worked out. So, if I could tell you anything, 2 days and then get back, on the horse. Turn to your upline or team for support. We are so lucky right now that this team is where we are. Like, it's huge. It's crazy. Back whenever I was doing all this, we were still, I think we were bigger, but it wasn't anything like this. It was, you had your few key people that were always posting, and then, some coaches in and out. But now there's so many people and they're so pumped up. And if you start to feel yourself slipping, make a post, say, hey, I need someone to ride my tail and make sure I'm getting my invites. And I guarantee you a bunch of people will jump on that post and say, yeah, me too. Let's do this. And it's so, we are a team. We're all in this together. So if you, yes, if you say, hey, I haven't worked out for a week, you might feel a little foolish, but I'm sure there's more that haven't either. And there's strength in numbers, and it really will help to do that. And I also, sidebar, but if you haven't found a success partner, this is where they would also help you to, get back in gear and not completely just fall off the wagon. 3 vital behaviors, never stop doing them. Like, seriously, never stop doing them. I think when I first started, it was kind of like, oh, the 3 vital behaviors, that's something that, you know, they just kind of cooked up, but, you know, it's not really that important. But I can tell you, when I decided back in, I think April is when I fully was like, I'm back to this, I did them. You know, I did personal development, I worked out. I didn't just do the bare minimum. I was doing, they say 3 to 5, I was doing 5 to 10 every single day. I was not, you know, letting myself slip any further than I had. And by doing that, like, I can completely vouch that if you are doing the 3 vital behaviors and doing them correctly, you will hit Success Club, you will rank advanced, and you will see growth. If you think that you're doing them and you're not seeing those results, you know, go to your coach and ask them maybe to take a look at what you're doing, because most likely you're missing some aspect of it. Like Jen talked about too, how to prevent it is always remind yourself of your why. Like, why are you here? What made you want to be a coach? What is keeping you, you know, on this path? For me, it's always been my daughter. From the get-go, I was working in the emergency room as a nurse. I was working 12-hour shifts. I hated that she was a little baby and I was dropping her off at daycare before the sun came up. My mom was picking her up and I was going to get Hadley like from my mom at like 8 o'clock at night. By the time I got her home, she was asleep, and then I was doing it all over again the next day. And like, I hated that. Like, that's not what I wanted for her or me. And that was my why. I think part of the reason why I slipped for that reason is I got into a job where I was making pretty decent money and the hours were a little flexible. So I think I kind of got spoiled and I forgot how bad it was and I lost sight of my why. So now, like, I have that bad boy posted everywhere. You know, the moment that I start thinking, oh, well, you know, it's not really that important, I don't really need it, it's right there to remind me that that's why I'm doing this. So I suggest, if you haven't found your why, dig deep and find like a real reason, not a reason, you know, I want to help people. We all want to help people, but that's not going to be what pulls you out of a slump at the end of the day. So you're in a slump. How do you get out of it? And like I said, a slump can be a week. For me, it was a little bit longer. It's a tad bit. But you can pull yourself out. And to do that, success partners and your teammates are going to be what helps you do that. For me, unfortunately, my success partner was going through a slump at the same time. So we kind of were both like down in that hole, feeling sorry for each other. And then fortunately, we both kind of at the same time decided this is, you know, stupid. What are we doing? So we held weekly calls. Like every week we would call and say, okay, where are you at? What are you doing? You know, what's working? What can we do to, you know, push ourselves forward? And by doing that, it made me accountable to someone. You know, I could have, you know, kind of took it like a slower approach, but that's just not the way I do things. And I think once you're in that hole, you need to get out quickly. Otherwise, you're going to be there a long time. To get out of it, set an attainable yet scary goal and put a deadline date on it. And this doesn't, I mean, I think I am like the drastic version of slump. Everyone can go through a slump. It can be, like I said, a week. But for me, it was a very long period of time. So I knew it had to be crazy to get me out of it. So I told Jen that I was going to quit my job by August. Like, no ifs, ands, buts about it. That was my goal. I was going to do it because I wanted my daughter to go to this, it's a private school. It's like a pre-K 3 program. And I wanted her to go to that. And the only way she could really do it was if I wasn't working, because it's only from, I think, like 8:45 to 1. So you wouldn't be able to do it if you're working a full-time job. So that was my goal. I had a little picture of the little, you know, Christian school up on my computer. You know, I knew like that's what I was doing. I was going to be done no matter what it took. So that's why I went back to the 3 vitals and I made sure that's what I was doing. I was inviting, I was working out, I was reading personal development, I was getting very little sleep, but I knew that in the end it would be worth it. And it was. I mean, was it June? I think middle of June, and I already quit. So I was able to do that just by saying I was going to and knowing that Jen and my success partner, Jenny, were going to hold me to it. Another thing is, when you bounce back from such a hiatus, you need to Hadley, come here. I'm sorry, here. sorry. You need to remember that you are a baby coach again, regardless of your rank. Do you want to sit up here with me? Okay, you can't talk, okay? So regardless of your rank, I think the lowest I dropped was like an emerald for a week. But through all that, it was ruby, diamond, ruby, diamond, ruby, diamond. Like I wasn't less than that, but I really was a baby coach. Like I was rebuilding brick by brick the business that I had created. What I had, made from the beginning was no longer there. The customers had fallen off because I wasn't active. When I was making posts, no one was liking them because I had to earn back that trust of being consistent. And that can apply for a week. Like say, you have coach, Molly, who is Emerald coach. She's been a coach for, 2 months and hitting Success Club. She posts every single day. If she takes 1 week off with no posts, I guarantee you that people are going to notice and they're not going to be commenting on her stuff. She sees herself. I'm sorry. And she's going to have to earn that rank and earn that consistency back. So we already talked about the 3 vital behaviors and how important they are. Kylie Brooke, hey, I'm not joking. You need to stop. Okay? We talked about this. Here, you can color. The 3 vital behaviors religiously. I touched on that the last slide. If you really want to bounce yourself back, you need to do them. I don't care, if you say, oh, I'm inviting 2. If you really want to do this, 5 to 10 to bounce yourself back. I think that was my last one there, but I have to move you guys and see. Oh, trackers. They are amazing. I don't want to admit that when I think Jen first introduced trackers, I was like, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. Sorry, Jen. I was like, I'm not a 5-year-old. I don't need to check off boxes to say I did something. I did, however, do, like there's a Reach for the Stars tracker where you can track your income and your progression that way. But our last group, the Hustle and Heart group, was honestly the first, daily tracker that I've ever done. And it's bad to say, but it really was amazing. Every day, I would have it there. I printed it out for the week and I would do my invites and it would get a check. I would do my workouts and it would get a check. And it was just, I like checking things off. So I think that made it a little bit easier, but it was a way for me to know that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Yep, good job. So what happens next? You live, you learn, and you share. I think, by being open and honest about what you go through, whether it be, I don't know if Shannon's on the call, but I saw she failed the ultimate reset. Like that is awesome. Not that she failed, but you're sharing what you're going through. You're not just being this, fake internet person. Like you're real, you're human. And it didn't work out, and you're posting, you're sharing with your team, you're letting your coaches know that it's okay, and they probably won't make the same mistakes that you do. I want people to know how bad that I failed so that they don't. I don't want them to experience what I did and to feel the way I did because it was horrible. So if I could tell you anything, share what you're going through, reach out to us, and that's what we're here for. But we all go through our own version of slumps, and it's how we decide to handle them that makes the difference. And we really are all, yep, good job making a letter. We really are all a team here, and I, may have not realized that initially. I know that now, like, I can go to Jen about anything, and she'll be there and listen and tell me, what she really thinks I should do. And that's what the best part about Beachbody is it's a community, we're a family, and we're all in this together. And we truly, at least I know Jen, my team, everyone that I know, wants everyone else to succeed. I don't want, to be better than the next person. I want us all to be there celebrating at the end. And I put the very end, the last one is, I think I'm the current record holder for the longest slump with a comeback. Really, it's probably true. So if anyone ever feels like they're slipping or they, just want someone to talk to, my door is always open. Even if it's just like, oh, hey, I haven't been able to invite, what, PD should I read? Like, I am here for everyone. So really, that's it. I'm going to stop sharing. Try to go through if we have time for questions. But that's really it. Hope it was somewhat beneficial. I know my daughter crashed the party at the end. I go back to your bed then.
No, that was amazing. And first things first, thank you for being so honest and just sharing and saying, you know, it went from this point to this point. And here's what I'm amazed at is that it went on through that and so fast. You jumped right back in when you were ready, when you committed to the vital behaviors and really got committed again, which was just when was that you just recommitted?
I think I remember being very excited about in April is when I was like, okay, I'm done. And then May is when I first hit Success Club again.
And here we are in June and you're quitting your job. So that just goes to show the power of what can be built in this business in such a short time. So even with taking, you know, that hiatus or whatever, you know, that slump that we're going to call it, you can jump back in at any point. Yes, it's going to be hard, like she said. And, you know, think about it. If most of you, I'm sure, have read The Compound Effect, but that illustration he gives about pumping the well. So, you know, if you're pumping the well, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work to finally start getting a little bit of drops of water. And then as you're pumping and you keep doing the hard work, you keep doing it, the water starts to flow and then it starts to get heavy. But if you stop pumping the well, guess what happens? It goes dry. It stops. The water stops. So you have to start over, pumping that well again to get the drops that are going to start heavy. So it's that same idea in The Compound Effect. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that book. It's great for any business, but I've loved it in this business. I love what you said. Your slump can last a day or it can last a year. It's up to you. So we do have a choice. It is, you know, it is hard. You know, our personal things can get in the way. But it is, those vital behaviors are vital for a reason. They may sound, you know, hokey and silly, but they are something that if you do every single day, and I'll tell you, any coach, no matter if they're the number one coach or the 300,000 brand new coach, that is what you need to do to be successful in this business. The vital behaviors every single day. And guess what? I haven't done my invites today. So when we get off this call, I have my trackers here and I need to check that off still. So when we get off, before my head lays down, I'm going to sit and send out my 15 invites. So those are the things that it's like, you know what, I could go to sleep or I could watch a show, but I'm going to choose to make sure that I'm keeping myself and my business on track because my why and my goals and my family are, you know, why I do this. So that was an amazing call. Anybody have any questions? I'm sure somebody's got some. So great to see so many new faces, some brand new coaches. Welcome. So great to see you guys. What are some of your questions? Somebody's got a burning question. I feel it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have a question. Okay, I'm a brand new coach. I started June 4th, and this may sound funny, but I feel like I'm already in a slump. I have had success in my first week, but now it's kind of dying off, and I've been posting, I've been working out, and I've been inviting. So I don't know what else I can do.
Sam, do you want to answer or you want me?
I've seen your posts, Brandy, and they're good. It takes time. You know, I think when you first start, you know, you're kind of hitting your own little market and you're getting those people interested, and then it takes a little bit more time for it to be consistent. And in this county, as you know, like we have a lot of coaches here. So you may need to try to find an avenue where there aren't as many and then just keep posting. And my biggest thing is I always tell my coaches, give it 1 year. I know that's hard, but if you can give it a year and not quit, I guarantee you're going to see success. If you consistently post and are doing what you're doing, because I see your posts and you're doing all the right stuff. It just is going to take a little bit of time for those drops to start coming out of the well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I want to just touch on that too. One thing that I found is if you look like on Facebook, there's always people inviting you to like Jamberry parties or 31 or, you know, there's so much out there that people are always trying to promote and sell that I think a lot of times, like Sam was saying, there's lots of Beachbody coaches. So I think what happens is people start to kind of watch you to say like, well, is she really going to stick it out? Is she in this for the long haul? Or is this just, you know, is she just doing this for a few months and then she's going to be over it? Because I don't want to sign up with her if she's not legit and she's not going to stick with it. So I think, like, sorry, my daughter's throwing a fit. I think, like, showing your commitment through a couple months, that's when you start to see more results too, is when you have that consistency over a long period of time, because people realize, like, oh, this isn't just a phase, like, she's serious about it. So it just takes time and consistency.
And one more thing I'll add to that is to you're new, you're a new coach. So really, really, really focus on your own journey, your own health and fitness. I mean, really dive into your challenge group, to learning the new recipes, your own workout, like go full in, be that number one challenger that you expect to have. So focus on your own journey, and then just focus on helping 3 to 5 people each month right now. Don't overwhelm yourself with big, huge goals. But if you can imagine helping 3 to 5 people, and I know there's 3 to 5 people out there right now that are ready to hear from you, that want to hear from you, and that's going to help you earn your money back for your Shakeology. It's going to help you earn money on top of that, as well as have you achieving Success Club in your first month, which is great because that'll get you started to be a success starter. So don't overwhelm yourself. The business can be very overwhelming in the beginning. There's a lot in the online office. There's so much. So don't get yourself caught up and overwhelmed. 3 to 5 people to help, so to start coaching and really focus in on your own journey so that you're seeing and feeling those results and then sharing that naturally. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any other questions? We have 7 more minutes. Yay.
I noticed what really helped my market was when I actually started going onto Facebook, onto different groups that were in my niche, like with homeschool moms, since I homeschool, you know, going and finding homeschool mom groups and connecting with them as a homeschool mom. And then eventually it comes up in conversation. And then those are the ones that are the next challengers. So if you just find groups that have eventually they're going to ask you what you're doing. You know, you'll eventually see your posts saying that you work at home, and they'll open up to you about that because you're connecting to them on a different level, a personal level instead of a business level.
Yeah, totally. Does that answer your question? Give you some ideas?
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any more?
Yes. I have a bunch. I don't want to like overload everyone with questions.
No, go ahead.
I'm a very analytical person, so I have to know how things work, and I always have lots of questions about things. But like, I think it's really awesome how some people have become emeralds so fast. And like, I have high expectations for myself, and I see people having like 3 kids and 5 kids and working full time and having so much success, and I want to be one of those people.
Okay.
So,
Sam, anybody want to go or want me to?
I can completely relate to that because I'm the same way. But I can tell you that's not necessarily the best way to be. I know that's hard, you know, but you have to also, because once you hit emerald, once you hit diamond, you're always going to be comparing yourself to the person right above you. And it's only going to cause you more stress. And you just lead your journey, and, you know, the people that hit emerald in a week, and, you know, you don't know their circumstance. Their emerald could be their husband and their mom, you know. So kind of look at it that way, and don't let yourself get bogged down negatively about not running the race side by side with someone that started the same time as you.
Yeah, that's so true for the comparison trap. But as far as going emerald, it's actually super simple. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't stress about it. If you have a spouse who, you know, it wants to try Shakeology, if you want to do a giveaway, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it and think about it. So if you have a parent, like me personally, I signed up my husband as my very first coach because I wanted him at the top of my business. And when I was a new coach and I saw a video about this, I was hesitant because I didn't want to spend the money. You know, it wasn't in our budget to get it. So I was nervous and hesitant, but I really trusted what I was seeing. I mean, this was the number one coach. And so I just thought, I'm in this. I'm giving it all I've got. Like Sam said, for 1 year, that's where I was. I'm going to give it what I've got. So I signed up my husband as my first coach, and I had a close friend who signed up as my second coach, and I went Emerald pretty quick. So, and off your husband, I mean, off of both of them, you'll make commission and 2 Success Club points each. And I got a box of packets with my husband's challenge pack, and I sold them all to make that money back. And then I did not keep him on Shakeology because that was not in our budget, like I said. So I just put a customer, one of my customers, underneath him, and that just kept him as an active coach. So you can think about it like that. If you have 2 friends that want to join your next challenge group, or family members that want to support your new business, it really is just a matter of finding those 2 people. And you do, you know, it's not a big deal. So don't stress it. And there's a lot of benefits. So, I mean, Emerald is that first step. And I mean, the biggest benefit is team cycle bonus. If you ask me, that's kind of like, you want to jump right into that. We are a fast growing team. We're adding mini coaches every single day. And you want to get the benefit of the team helping each other grow. And that's team cycle bonus. I'm not going to go into the details of how that happens, but once you hit Emerald, you start to cycle and you start to grow your income like that. So you'll want to be thinking about those 2 people and start shooting for that goal. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to do a Getting Started Right team call too. So I can answer a lot more questions on that call. I'm going to go over the Coach Online office. I'm going to go over a lot of like foundational and basic stuff on that call too. Awesome. Anybody else have any other questions?
So Jen, when are you looking to do that call?
I'm hoping to do it this week. Actually, today's Wednesday, huh? Let's see. I mean, I could do it potentially tomorrow night. I'm up for it. Like I could have done it tonight before this call, but depending on how, I want to make sure everybody sees that message because I'm going to get as many people on it as possible. I'm going to do a screen share with my online office and just share, you know, different things that people may not know. And then I'm going to go through a business quick start and go over just like foundational basics. So, we'll see if in the next couple of days or the beginning of next week, so we can get as many people on that call as possible. So, well, thank you so much, Sam. We're about to end our time. That was such an amazing call. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I've got some great notes here. Thanks everybody for showing up, and have a great night. Bye, everyone. Oh, I didn't get a picture. Shoot, I love those. Hold on. Let's see if I have time. Just smile, and I'll try to get it.
Look at the picture.
Did I get it? Did I get it? Oh, hold on. Stay there, little turkey. Hold on. I got it. Yay. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Speaks late.
Bye.
Bye.